Welcome back, everybody. Last time I filmed, I tore apart this block. Well, granted, I took the heads off of the block. Today I'm going to tear into the heads, take all the buckets, the springs, the valves out, and I'm going to clean everything in this ultrasonic cleaner. Granted, everything is going to get cleaned at the machine shop. Everything will get hot tanked, but I kind of OCD and I just like to make things clean before sending them out. So that's kind of the plan for today. I'm going to be using a Company 23 valve compression tool. There are other ways or other tools and methods you can use that are a little bit cheaper, say like C-clamps and even a mallet and a socket. I mean, I wouldn't recommend that, but you can do it. So yeah, we're going to tear into these and kind of film the process. I'm going to start with taking the valve cover back off. I'm going to try and keep things organized just so I'm not mixing up like cam caps and all that. This is kind of what the spring compressor looks like. We're going to pull out all these buckets and we're going to keep those organized as well because we want them to go back in their original homes so that later I can check valve lashing and make sure that's good, and if we need to order other buckets. But this is what it looks like. There are cheaper options, but I'm kind of a buy once, cry once kind of a person. So if I know I'm going to use it, I'm going to buy the better, higher quality option. I think these run around like $85, I believe. But anyways, all right. So I'm going to show you guys what this is all about. So this tool has this bolt that when we screw it in, it's going to push this down, effectively compressing the springs. So you can see the spring right there. It's going to push it down, and then there's two keepers in there that kind of keep everything together. We're trying to get those out so that we can take the spring out. So we're going to go slow, and I'll kind of show you guys. So just like that, it'll focus. You see how those keepers kind of popped out? Pull one out. So that's one of the keepers. And the other keeper. So there's the other one. Now we can pull out that whole spring assembly and move on to the next one. When taking out manifold studs, if you can't get this out, like a lot of times stock manifold studs won't have the Allen on the end to take it out easily. You can use what I call the double nut method. You take two nuts, you put one on backwards. So now that I have some threads above it, I can take another nut, screw it down right on top, so it looks like that there. And then you'll lefty loosey on this bottom one, and it's going to snug up tight to this top one and pull the whole thing out. The only thing about this is when they're a pain like that, these two nuts will be up against each other pretty tight. So it can kind of be a pain to get them both off. But I'll kind of show you how I generally do that. All right, got that whole stud out. Now just get the two nuts off and then do it 2 times over. So I'll try and do it this way first, just like that. When it comes to cleaning mating surfaces and getting old gasket material off, I like to use these roll-lock discs, little bristles. I believe this is the 120. So I'm just going to go around, kind of clean things up, and then after that we're going to get stuff put into the ultrasonic cleaner, because it should reach 80 degrees Celsius by then. So we'll probably start with the valve cover, all the valves and buckets and all that first, and see how those turn out. And last we'll do the head itself. So, all right. All right, before we start putting stuff in the ultrasonic cleaner, I kind of want to get a before and after. I might clean up some of this gasket material too. So there's that cradle. Doesn't look too bad. I will take this sensor off as well. This is what the valve cover looks like. Pretty gross on the outside, not too bad on the inside. Springs, I don't foresee those coming out much different. Valves, not terrible. Just a little sooty. This guy, this head, so kind of before. Let's get it flipped over. There's the inside. So when they come out, I'll show you guys what they look like. Even in the basket, I try and keep everything pretty organized. So we're gonna put all this in there for 30 minutes at 80 degrees Celsius and see what it all looks like. Another before. Alrighty, everybody. Next day, we've got both the heads totally stripped, cleaned, and the ultrasonic cleaner. I'll kind of show you guys what all that looks like. I'm just going to finish roughly assembling this one just hand tight, so they're ready to go to the machine shop. But this is kind of what they turned out and look like. So this would be one of the heads after the ultrasonic cleaner. Not too bad. I mean, I'm sure they'll get cleaned up more at the machine shop. We got the cam cradle back on, cam caps in the back. If you do get these mixed up, they are labeled. I'll see if I can focus on it for you. So, like, they've got a little arrow that shows which way they point. This one has an E for exhaust. This one an I for intake. So if you do get them mixed up, they are labeled. Just don't, flip-flop them. But yeah, that's about it. Oh, and the other one sitting over here turned out pretty good too. Safely on the floor, not where it belongs. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Next time I will be tearing apart the short block, finding what bearing spun, and if there is any damage, we'll get that fixed and corrected, and then we'll take everything to the machine shop, get it all gone through, bring it back, order whatever parts I need to order, and reassemble. All right, thanks.